Oh, hi. I'm Jen, and welcome to my vlog space. And please forgive how tired I probably look. I just got back from a 6-day gig and I'm exhausted. But today we're going to be doing a Tappy talk, and it's one that I hadn't considered doing before, but the more I think about it, the more I want to talk about this. And it is about choreographers and the choices that we make. And I wanted to talk about how choreographers, in my opinion, really need to look at the dancers that they have before they really put together a piece of choreography, whether it's for class or whether it's for competition or a show. If you're teaching or setting a piece, I fully believe that you need to kind of tailor that piece for the dancers that you have. Now, some choreographers are just super lucky, right? And they have 10 of the exact same skill level, totally BA tap dancers ready to learn whatever they want to throw at them, right? Or maybe they're teaching a master class and that dance is supposed to be like the most challenging thing anyone's ever done. And it's supposed to be leave people like struggling. There's that too. But if you're kind of like me, where you have to set pieces for competition, recital, or for my own companies, I think that at least I do. It's hard to like say like my opinion is fact. It's not. It's my opinion. But I think that the dance should be made to work well for the dancers that you have. What do I mean by that? So there in my companies, I have two professional companies. Like we are professional tap dancers. We gig all over the place. We perform, I want to like 50 plus shows a year with one company, and I want to say 20 to 30 with the other. It's crazy. But even within those professional companies, I still have differing ability levels. And when I put a show together, let's talk about noise complaint for a second. When I put a show together for noise complaint, I have to sit here and think, okay, well, I have 3 or 4, depending on which, like where the show is and who can go. I have, let's say, 4 really advanced dancers, and I can do pretty much anything with those 4. And then I've got 2 to 3 that are pretty advanced, a little lower on the level, but pretty advanced. They can't do everything, but they can do most of it. And then I've got some dancers that have just recently moved past apprentice. Now, my company takes in apprentices that have never tapped before, so we have a training program as part of it. So obviously there's varying levels. If I know that I need the whole company to be in one piece, like we'll do duets and trios, and I'll take the 4 crazy good ones and give them like a super hard piece, right? But if I know that I want the whole company to be in a piece, usually the first piece of the show and the last piece of the show at least, I'm going to make that dance fit the whole company. So it will be simple enough for those who are not quite advanced yet to do, and maybe it'll have like some fun advanced sections where I can like split parts. But it will be something that not only can be achievable by every single member of the company that I want in this dance, but also it can like challenge everybody differently and bring out everyone's strengths. You know, I'm not going to put the whole company in a dance, but make it too hard for 2 or 3 of them and make them look bad on stage. That's not going to make the company look good, and it's certainly not going to make them feel good. So you make a dance that's simple enough. Also, sorry, there's like 7,000 airplanes flying today for no reason. Anyway, so if you can hear that, I do apologize. What's a Jen video without a bunch of interruptions? Just wait till Bento body slams my door. So where was I? Right. So making the dance that's simple enough for everyone to be able to do while still being really entertaining for the audience to watch. That's tricky, but it's doable. And also having different parts. Like we did Dynamite by BTS for one of our recent shows. A good portion of the dance is, I want to say, intermediate level, right? Intermediate level dance, really exciting to watch, really fun, gets the audience into it. But the first section, I have some of the dancers not dancing and doing other things, and then I have the advanced dancers having their little section. And that's a good way of like bringing out everybody's strengths, keeping things interesting, but also making sure that the dance fits everyone. It doesn't have to be the hardest thing in the entire world to be entertaining. And I will die on that soapbox. That's one of my soapboxes. It does not have to be a hard dance to be a good dance, and it certainly doesn't have to be the most difficult dance in the world to be entertaining. Some of the most entertaining dances in my company are the easy ones. No Scrubs is probably the easiest dance we have, and it is one of the funnest and most entertaining dance that we have. It's crazy. So then you have competition teams and recitals and galas and showcases and stuff like that. The same thing has to apply. There's no way you're going to have a class where everyone is exactly the same level. It's just, and everyone doesn't have the exact same skill set. So when you're making a dance, when I'm making a dance for my classes and stuff, I try to make sure that everything I do really fits the dancers that I have. I have some dancers that, let's talk about my duet that I have. I have to teach it in a couple hours. I have two beautiful tap dancers. They are so good. Their musicality is ridiculously amazing. One of them likes wings and the other one likes pullbacks. And so they're still very young. I want to say that they're like 12 and 13 maybe. So they're still working on these things. And one of them definitely is better at pullbacks than wings. Then the other one is better at wings than pullbacks. While in class, I'm trying to make sure that we work on both and that we appreciate both. When I put them on stage, I want to make sure that I put their strengths forward instead of their weaknesses. So in this one part where I have them trading off steps, I have one of them doing pullbacks and one of them doing wings rather than both of them doing pullbacks or wings, because it really highlights their strengths and lets them perform better and fits them instead of forcing one to go out of their comfort zone, which I think is great in class, but not necessarily for a performance. Whether you're trying to get a good score or entertain the audience, the comfort of the dancer is kind of important, in my opinion. I know my company and my students do better when they're comfortable with the steps that they're performing. I can't do a triple pirouette, so if somebody told me that there was a triple pirouette in this choreography, I would be spending the entire dance stressed out about the triple pirouette and hoping that I get it and not really focusing on performing and not really experiencing the moment of performing. I would just be stressed out about that triple turn. Does it have to be a triple turn if I can't do one? No, I'm sure a double would have looked just fine. Or figuring out a way to do 3 turns without making it a triple if your dancer can't do a triple, if that makes sense. So I think it's really important to look at the dancers that you have and assess their skill level and their comfort level before creating a piece for them to perform. Again, for class, challenge them. Oh Lord, please challenge them. Make them step outside of their comfort zone. Make them work on the steps that they hate. Because usually they hate it only because they're not good at it yet. So that happens with kids and adults. People are like, oh, I hate that step. And I'm like, no, it's just because you haven't gotten it yet. Once you get it, I promise you'll love it. And that's why we're going to keep working on it. And then they do. Unless some people just really, really hate this step. Like, I don't know. I have some steps in jazz that I don't like. I forget what it's called. I don't like calypsos. I don't know if you guys call them that, but I don't really like calypsos. I can do them fine, but I don't like them. And that's okay too. You can just not like something. Anyway, another thing, especially when you're teaching, but especially when you have like a class that's going to perform or a company that's going to perform, because you never know, there could be companies of all ages and types of people. You want to take age and ability into account when you're making these dances. Let's say you're making a dance for a class that you have or a company that you have where everyone is over 50. Depending on everybody's, like, I want to say fitness level or injury history, maybe you don't want a whole lot of hops. Maybe you don't want a whole lot of jumps in there, because as I'm learning, as you age, your joints get a little rough, you know? So you may want to think about, oh, okay, instead of a hop here, I'm going to make this a heel. Try to fit the choreography to the bodies of the dancers, especially if you're dealing with dancers who are older or dancers who have recently had an injury. Like, I have a dancer in Noise Complaint that has a shoulder injury. I will not choreograph anything that involves their right arm. ever. I just grabbed my left arm. It's actually like this arm. I won't choreograph them to need their right arm for anything. And we're currently working on a Star Wars tap dance, and I have like that side holding up their right arm with the lightsaber, and they're supposed to hold it all the way up into the sky. And now I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, that side, you're doing left arm. I changed the whole side to fit that one dancer. Why? Because the rest of it doesn't matter what arm the rest of them use, but it matters for that one person. What difference does it make? It actually looks better because it doesn't hide their face as much. They'll just have to switch the lightsaber to the other hand a little later in the song. But I can work that out. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have 4 dancers with their arms all the way up and 1 dancer who can't move their arm past here. Fit the dancer. I have a class of adults that I'm teaching tonight, and one of them recently had back surgery. So when I teach my combination tonight, I will make sure that either there is at least an option, or I just don't include, or, an option to not do hops and jumps, or I just don't include them in the choreography for tonight, I usually just do an option, but if they were doing a dance, if they were performing this dance, I would make sure that I just don't include hops, because I don't want to not allow this person to dance simply because I'm making them do stuff that's going to injure them, or that's going to hurt them, or that just doesn't fit their ability. I think I have 1 dancer in that class in particular that can do pullbacks. It's a great adult class. Like, they're just like going. It's so good. I love this class. 1 dancer can do pullbacks like really, really well. The other ones are still working on it. If I were to choreograph a dance for them to perform this weekend, I wouldn't put pullbacks in it, because it wouldn't make everyone shine. It would make everyone stressed. So that's another thing. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to this, I'm just going to adjust real quick. It's a casual vlog. The last thing I wanted to talk about, it has to be a casual vlog because I still have airplanes flying. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is not just differing physical ability levels, but I really think that as choreographers and as teachers, we should consider the cognitive levels of our students as well, especially if you have students or company members that are neurodivergent. I think not just when you're choreographing, more of just when you're explaining the choreography and teaching it and what they're expected to do, figure out the way that works best for them to receive information. And I'm talking about neurodivergent people. Noise Complaint actually has a neurodivergent person as a company member. So there are certain different ways that I need to explain things or have a system of how things work when it comes to choreography and setting and staging and stuff like that. I learned that I have to explain things a little bit differently so that it's understandable and it makes sense. It makes sense to that person. So if you have neurodivergent dancers in your class, if you're a teacher, think about differentiating your instruction of the piece that you're trying to set. You can't just show it and then everyone will get it. And this isn't even just neurodivergent people. This is just everybody. There's different kinds of learners. You have visual learners, auditory learners, hands-on learners. I don't get frustrated when my students start tapping while I'm tapping. Like if I'm showing something, some of the students start doing it. I don't get frustrated. I'll ask them, okay, wait, let me do it by myself once, and then I'll let you do it again. Because they're the hands-on learner. They need to do it. They're not going to understand it just by looking at it, and they're not going to understand it by hearing it. They have to physically do it, and so they kind of jump the gun at it. So I don't get mad at them at all. And then some dancers need to have it spoken. Some dancers need to have it shown. They don't want you to say a word. They just want to see it. Rhythm Theory has at least 2 dancers that are just could you just not explain it and just show it? And then I show it and they're like, okay, I got it. And it's just how they learn. So this goes for everybody, not just neurodivergent, but figuring out how to best convey what you're trying to set and what you're trying to create so that everyone is on the same page. The thing is, not everybody reads the same. You can be on the same page, but not everybody reads it the same. So you have to make sure everyone is not just on the same page, but has their own way of reading it. I hope that makes sense. That was a weird way of explaining it. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to come in and talk about creating dances that fit your dancers, creating classes that fit your students. we love to say, well, this is the kind of choreographer I am, or this is traditional, and this is how it's going to be, and I want this dance to look like this on stage. It's important to have what you want as a choreographer, but what you want may not always be what you can get depending on the dancers that you have. And even I have lost sight of that as a competition choreographer. I kind of just set a piece and said, this is how it's going to be. And then we get close to competition. I was like, I made this too hard. Wow, I made this way too hard. So I like changed things. And was a part of me like, oh, this isn't how I wanted my choreography to be. I mean, yeah, every choreographer feels like that. But in the end, it looked how it should look for those dancers. Consider the dancers that you have, not just the ones that are in your head when you choreograph. That's what helps about having like a company though, because like you always have the same dancers because it's a company, like a professional company. Unless you've had auditions recently, you have to get to know new dancers. I've had this current group for over a year now. I know them. They live in my head now. Same thing with rhythm theory, and both noise complaint and rhythm theory. I've had these dancers for a while. I know them. They live here. So when I choreograph a dance, I see specific people doing different things. I know their ability level. I know how to explain things to them. Get to know your dancers and tailor your choreography and your lessons and what you're doing to fit them, and you will end up with the best result possible on stage. So I hope that this wasn't roundabout and confusing. Like I said, I'm really tired. We had a 5 or 6 day gig. We had a 6-day gig in Atlanta, and we just got back. I'm exhausted and just trying to get back on the train of getting YouTube done. So wanted to come on and do this vlog. I hope it was informative, and I hope that it related to you guys. If you have stories of similar things, or if you were ever in a dance that didn't quite fit you, or if you were in a dance that perfectly fit you, tell those stories down in the comments. If you're a choreographer and you've struggled with this, let me know in the comments. I love conversing with you guys. Sorry I'm a little late responding to comments lately. I have been on tour for the past 6 weeks. So I do my day job during the week, and then on the weekends I like go out and perform, and that's a tour. I just stop home to work for a minute. So it's been crazy, but I will catch up, and I will talk to you guys in the comments. If you're not already a part of the Tap fam, hit the subscribe button and join. I love this Tap fam. We are just such a good group with each other. I love creating dances and video content for you guys. It is a labor of love, and it brings me so much joy. And every time you guys comment and say, oh, I love this one, thank you so much for this exercise, I love this song, thanks for making a dance to it, it just makes me so happy. Even if I'm on the road and I can't answer, I promise. I read it and it makes me happy. But yeah, join the Tap fam by hitting that subscribe button. There's choreography tutorials, step tutorials, technique exercises, vlogs like this, challenges, tap videos, all kinds of fun stuff. And Inktober is either here or coming up, depending on when I post this. So stay tuned for that, or keep an eye out for that. Also, hit the thumbs up button if this video was awesome for you guys and helped you with some ideas, or helped you go, yeah, I feel that way, like just related to you, you know? Hit the thumbs up button because vlogs are cool. And hit the thumbs up button for Bento not knocking the door down. How about that one? I had airplanes, but I didn't have Bento. So yeah, I had a blast talking with you guys today, and I'm gonna finish what I'm doing and then go take a nap because I'm really tired. But as always, thank you for dancing with me.